Let's take a quick look at what's going on here. I'm finally going to install my Keisport ECU that I got like 2 odd years ago. And I'm going to have to install the new O2 sensor, the wideband thing, and the lambda controller thing here. I also need this little guy that I made a little while back. This is for a Cappuccino ECU. Basically, it crisscrosses the wires on this little extender rather than messing with my harness. As usual, you got to open your engine hatch from the inside, take the bolts out, take the panel out. You're going to see your O2 sensor right there, right on the downpipe. If you have the stock downpipe, it's going to be a little bit different than that, but it's basically right there, and it's this long thing with a wire on it. So reach in here, go find your connector. It's not too far from there. Got to pull it out. I think I have to like squeeze and pull or something. I can't really see right now, it's dark. Looking at this other plug here, it looks like I need to pry up on this tab. I'm never going to be able to show you that, so I'm just going to do that off camera here. So I can actually show you how this worked. So reach under the shifter cables between the downpipe and the shifter cables. You're going to see this plug right there. You're going to turn it a little bit so you're going to see this side up. Put your finger kind of like in there to scoop up on the thing, on the little tab, and it comes right out. That wasn't too bad. Now you do the usual stuff. Put a wrench on this thing. I think it's a 19 mil. I don't have that handy, so I'm going to use this. Okay. There we go. Mine wasn't that tight. All right. This is my old O2 sensor. I don't know how to tell if this is good or bad. It doesn't matter because it's being swapped. So this is the new one. It's much different. Ooh, it even has some anti-seize on the threads. That's cool. It's just gonna go right in there. All right, when you spin this in, let the wires kind of spin around so you don't get them all like twisted up and stressing them out. Oh, this is difficult. There's probably some trick to doing this and I don't know it. There we go. See how like the wire keeps like trying to unscrew the sensor from the thread? It's just because it keeps spinning around. There's some weight in it. There we go. Make sure it's tight and it doesn't leak. Now you take your lambda controller. This is the Spartan 2. That's going to plug into this here. That's the wideband sensor. It goes right into this. And then now you got to take this and plug this end back into the plug down there. There's going to be a lot of wire that I'm going to have to like zip tie out of the way so it doesn't get melted on any of the hot stuff over here. Let's get this down there. All right. That is plugged in. So time to zip tie this stuff kind of out of the way. I'm going to zip tie it over here to the bundle of harness up on the side against the firewall. I kind of just zip tied the stuff in a bundle right here. It's not very neat, but it'll do the job for right now. It's zip tied to the engine trunk latch and the fuel door latch cable. So that should hold it. Behind the driver's seat, I never put this door back because I was anticipating doing this. Just kind of take the ECU. Mine was never bolted back in either, so it's easy for me to kind of just access to do this. Pull the cables out. All right, take the ECU out. This is actually one of the rarer N1 ECUs. This one was from either an Alto or a Cara. They both had the same pin out, so I didn't have to make an adapter harness for this. If you didn't see from before, I bought an extra housing. I basically bought like an old Cappuccino one, and because it's basically the same. I drilled out the tabs so to get them out of the way. I got this Cappuccino or Cara harness adapter. Basically, it's just an extension for whatever reason. I don't know why. But I took it, I modified it to swap the pins as I needed. And I took out what I didn't need. Now this can plug straight into here. And then now this side, my car harness will go into. This is just the serial cable. I figured I filed out this part of the case, so this had room to fit in here freely. Serial cable is for like tuning purposes and reading data from the ECU, so that's why I have this attached and have it kind of like come out of the carpet there, I guess. Get the twisty tie off. This just plugs right in, and this just plugs right in. There we go. Kind of tucked everything back in here and shove my carpet back down. There we go. I'll put that door back when I'm ready. Okay. This is simply the ECU install and the wideband and the controller install. There's more that you have to do to get this working. There are spark plugs you have to change. You have to go to at least the number 8s and number 9s, depending on how much boost you're going to run. If you're running at stock boost, there's no reason to do this to keep your number 7s. There's some other things you're supposed to kind of go through to make sure that the engine's okay, kind of go through your motor and make sure all the things are... Uh-oh. Hello? All right, how about you?
Oh, dude. Crazy. That's why I haven't been forgetting to call you back. So you know I closed up shop, right?
I did not know you closed up shop.
Okay, so I closed up shop back in August. So right now I'm in the transitional stage. I'm working up at EG up in Amesbury. I could probably get a good 3 or 4 cars out of that.
Okay.
Out of what I have.
Okay.
So once I get it laid out on the table and stuff like that, and I get the materials, because I still have all of your patterns and everything. Okay. I can find out.
All right, that sounds good, because 3 or 4 is better than 0.
Right, exactly.
Now my train of thought is gone. So something about the spark plugs and whatnot. So you're gonna have to go through and make sure your timing's okay, all these other things. There's all these instructions that will be on Keisport's website. You can go look there, look at the user documentation and like the info on what you're supposed to do. You'll need to download Tuner Studio, connect your computer, and take a look at the parameters and whatnot, make sure everything's okay. From what I understand, the base tune is supposed to be something like the N1 computers, like the N1 tune. So you should be able to drive around on it. I don't know, maybe it's gonna be a little bit too rich, but that makes sense because, you know, you're gonna run it richer than lean. And that way everybody can kind of just drive around as is if they were going to do it like that. That way they won't blow stuff up because it's too lean. It's not the ideal situation, but it will work. I did do the spark plug change a while ago when I went to the N1, so I can include the video in the description below or like a card or something for how I did it. I mean, it wasn't pleasant, but it wasn't the worst, changing the spark plugs through the access hole there. I'm probably forgetting some other stuff, but let's carry on. All right, first start, cold start, Keisport properly installed. Everything powers up, seems all right, let's crank. Hey! It's already way more promising than the first time. Warm up a little bit before I come back to it. I'll give it a drive. There's some smoke coming out. I think that's just condensation. It's really cold out right now. Oh, it smells like poison. So seems all right. I think this is the smoothest I've ever heard my engine run. This is weird. What's going on? Seems to be having trouble holding idle. See all the water come out. Okay, so normally that would be ticking right now. Oh, is it ticking? Yeah, so normally that would be ticking right now in a different way. So maybe the Keisport doesn't operate that right now. I think I have to look at the parameters to see if I can adjust that. Let me help it kind of warm and idle itself. You can see it's still stone cold, so I'm gonna let it sit a little bit longer. All right, now that the car's gotten a little bit up to temp, it's a little bit over 50 Celsius, I'm not touching the accelerator anymore, and it is maintaining its own idle. So it's probably some sort of a setting I have to program in the thing because it can't idle when it's cold. It also probably didn't help that I revved it and I probably like stepped it out of the state of high idle or something, and then it got confused. I don't know. I'm gonna have to find out more about this thing. I'm gonna drive this with that panel off. Hopefully I don't die of fumes. Maybe I need to ventilate the thing. All right, anyways, but it's definitely idling okay now. It's a little bit just under 60 Celsius. Let's go for a drive. First drive. Uh-oh. I stalled it out. It didn't die on me. Squeeze by my car here. Whoa. Whoa! I don't remember it being like that. Huh. Valve is not working again. It's definitely a setting in the thing. I probably have to figure that out. I don't have a serial port either to do whatever I need to do, so I probably have to buy some adapters and whatnot. Let's see. Actually, I wonder if I could see the oil coming out of it. See where it's coming from. Ooh, the turbo noises though. Oh yeah. You can see the oil burning, and that's what that smoke is. Ooh, I'm turning this off. All right, I'm gonna close that panel. All right, there is a reason why that panel's there. Gotta have that panel there. So if you actually get one of these Keisport ECUs, Jeffrey Burdick, he's the guy that's behind this whole project here, making these things. They're intended for use in a Cappuccino, but as we know, the Cappuccino ECU is swappable to the AZ-1 and the Cara. This is what I've been doing with my other stuff. But if you have any questions, if you have any like pre-sale questions, whatever, he will answer everything. He's a very nice guy. So it's really nice to be able to kind of communicate with somebody and just kind of figure out the product if you need any help. I think he has like a little help section on his website too for like common things. So I'm gonna go take a gander at what's going on and see what I can do with this. Then, you know, that's it. This is it, man. This is the Keisport ECU installation, and I'll get into some like tuning or something. I don't know what I can do yet. I will figure it out, and tune in for next time, and people just popping out into the street without looking. I've never done this before. I just downloaded Tuner Studio on my computer. I bought a USB to serial converter right here. I'm gonna hook it up and see what the stuff does. Got my cable here. It should plug right in. It does not screw in the particular cable that I got. This is a pretty long USB cable. That's pretty good. All right, you can see here, this is Tuner Studio 3.1. Just downloaded it. I assume I have to start the car. I'm just gonna turn it on first. Is that enough? I came up to file there and I clicked on create a new project. It told me to scan some ports and it's scanned. It seems I have found the serial port, the COM3, and it seems to be working, except, what does this do? I named my project Cara, and next, let's see. There's a bunch of settings I can choose. There's a wideband, lambda, I don't know, what am I supposed to pick? I'm gonna start with all the default stuff. Click next, I'm gonna click next. All right, here's all the stuff. I don't know what it's doing. It's really small, but finish. It's offline because the car is off. That makes sense. We're going to take a look at the air-fuel ratio here. That's the first thing we're going to program, I believe. I think I need to start the car. So I'm going to turn the car off. Oh, look. There's fuel load. Oh, that's cool. I'm stepping on the throttle. You can see the throttle position too. That's nice. All right. I can go to 100.8% throttle position. All right. Okay. Kind of just reading the instructions and doing this at the same time. Basically, there's like an Excel sheet, 14.7. I'm gonna put the website and stuff in the description below. It tells you how to kind of calibrate your AFR. I'm gonna figure out how to do this. So let's see. During power up, it does the da-da.
It doesn't have this output sequencer.
Mine doesn't do that.
Basically, you're at the mercy of, of any type of error on the linear output.
All right, I guess I'm done for now. I submitted an email to Jeff at Keisport US, and we're gonna figure out how to actually get this thing started and going. For now, everything seems to be in place. The car kind of works. It's not ideal. I bet it's probably in some sort of like a limp mode thing. I have no idea. The idle is a little bit weird, like getting from idle to acceleration. It's likely because the wideband sensor is not communicating with the ECU for whatever reason. I did plug it in. I mean, yeah, I did plug it in. So, it's probably some configuration thing I got to figure out here, and then we're ready to go play. The Lambda controller was not responding to the ECU, so I didn't get any data points, and it was probably running funky because of that. So I was able to contact Jeff, Jeff over at Keisport. He's really quick to respond. It was much quicker than I expected. That's good. It was really good. We emailed back and forth. We talked about what might not be working and whatnot. So I'm going to go try to chase the continuity of the wiring for the O2 sensor. And then I have to also... So there's going to be a few things that you're going to have to tweak. So this is the ABV right here, where the light's shining right there. There's a vacuum hose that goes over to my blow-off valve inside there. I don't know if you can see that. You can you can see that really shiny object at the corner of my phone there. So that is no longer triggered because the Keisport ECU does not control this guy. What I ended up doing was disconnecting the ABV. This bypasses the whole thing, and because I don't need it, the Keisport does not control it. This hose used to go here on that connector there because that came out of the manifold. It went into here. I spliced it for the boost controller and boost gauge, but that is no longer needed. So what I ended up doing is taking the blow-off valve and putting the vacuum hose right here. This closes that loop, and this is just kind of hanging out. I might just remove this at some point, but for now I'll leave it. I believe the idle speed control has some sort of control. I gotta double check that. First thing I want to do is roll out my harness adapter. This is just the harness extension for the FXA. It's basically just a pass-through, but you can see some of the wires are crisscrossed and some are removed. I crisscrossed this one, so I swapped the pins as necessary so I could put in a Cappuccino ECU into my Cara. That way I can use Cappuccino ECUs effectively, and I just have to double check that the pin is correct. So if you look at it from the ECU side, it is the fourth pin over, that is the oxygen sensor. 1, 2, 3, 4, that's this one. The trouble here is these holes are so small my multimeter probes don't fit there and it won't make contact. So I'm using this little piece of wire. I'm going to plug it into this hole, into the fourth one. There you go, it's making contact. It's wobbly though. And then on this side, I have this in continuity mode, so if there's continuity, it'll just make a noise. Beep. All right, so this wire is in there, so I can make contact with that. Now I'm gonna try to do this all one-handed, and it's a little bit tricky. Holding that there, I'm holding this here. Beep. All on the fourth pin. So my adapter is good. This is rolled out, not my fault. At least not at this end. Look, you're probably gonna mock me on how I'm gonna do this. So I got the wire in here, and I have the wire. I could probably tape it down, but right now I'm just using the weight of the lambda controller to hold the probe onto the wire, and you can hear the beeping. All right, I upgraded my situation here. I taped this end to the probe. I taped a wire to the other probe. I taped this down so it stays in contact. Now I'm double checking that the harness, everything is good. If I can actually hold and see what the hell's going on here. My grand idea was to cut my old O2 sensor that I'm not going to put back in here anyways. This way I have a perfectly fitting plug, goes right into the thing, and all these connections should be working. Now I can just probe off of one of these four. Theoretically, it's going to work. All right, I'm having a really bad time testing here. These stupid pinouts are too small, or like my probe is too big. I don't know. Because I have to resort to doing the janky stuff with the wires and then taping it to this. I mean, it's not 100% reliable, and I don't like that. What I did verify was the port is the same on the Cappuccino and the AZ-1, so I don't have to swap the pins. Therefore, my harness is irrelevant. The pins on this harness are a little bit bigger, and I was able to, I slipped the wire in there and I jammed another wire in there to make sure it makes contact. I strapped it down with some electrical tape. Now I'm over here with the old O2 sensor situation, and I found continuity. I don't know if you can see that, but that's the black wire. Aha! We have continuity. All right, now what? Now there's another port I need to check. This was the fourth one over. This is OX. And there's another one called E2. It's the second one from this side. So I'm just gonna move this red wire over to this guy. And I'm gonna find the one that's supposed to come back here. Breaking out the manual here again. I'm looking through all the stuff. I found a little thing about the O2 sensor right here. There's two wires. It shows the sensor in the ground, I guess. So OX, we know that black wire did that. And then there's E01 here. Now I gotta confirm, because the plug is E2. That's what I was checking for, and that's why I could never find it. OX is fine. I'm checking with Jeff now to see if he really meant E01 and not E2, because I know the wiring is intact, and I don't know if the Cappuccino is wired differently and it uses E2. This is probably gonna be a problem. We'll figure something out. And by the way, I got this free heater from Facebook Marketplace. The guy was just giving it away. It was brand new, basically. It was just really dusty. But this thing's excellent. I mean, it's not like blazing hot. I also don't have it all the way. It's like 3/4 away. I had to get a power plug adapter because this is the weird 30 amp one, and I have the 20 amp plug. Yeah, I know. It hasn't burned the place down yet, and I haven't even blown the circuit. So it seems to be fine, but it is way, way better than my mini split over here, because, and that, I just saw that climb up. It's 55 degrees in here. That was 51 when I came in, and I was doing some wiring stuff just because I was trying to check it right now. And what's that, like 20 minutes or so? I bet that thing uses a lot less energy than the mini split does, because that's an 18,000 BTU unit. It takes like maybe 2-3 hours before it actually like starts blowing warm, at least in here, because this is a pretty big space, I guess. The walls and the doors are insulated. The roof is not insulated, as you can see, so all my heat just goes whoosh, right out the center there. It's gone. All the money for electricity, gone. So I got a ceiling fan. I don't know, I got the ceiling fan a few months ago, and I got it for like $23. It was the clearance pile at Home Depot when I was there. I was like, hey, I'll buy the ceiling fan. I'll try it out. So all the heat ends up there because last winter, 1 or 2 winters ago, when I installed this air filter thing, I had to climb up there with the ladder. So I ran the heat because it was super cold outside. It was probably just tolerable down here, like 50, 60 degrees. But up there, we're sweating. So there's a lot of heat loss and just kind of hanging out up there. I probably want to get that insulated at some point. I don't know how that will work because obviously you got to be able to go up there to do stuff. I mean, yeah, there's spray foam, but you still have to go up there, right? But I have so much crap. It's all in the way. It's going to make that difficult. So I got the ceiling fan to help try to push that air back down. I think that works. I tried it in the summertime because I had the AC going. I was like, oh, I could circulate it. But what I ended up doing was having that pushed down, and all the hot air from the top was being pushed down. Like, oh, that's no good. But in the wintertime, that is working. And look, it's 56.3 degrees already. This is nice. Nice, nice, nice. Is it hot? Oh, it's not hot. You can touch this. That's cool. Taking my probe, putting this into E01 over here. I can go back in here and touch that wire. Oh, gotta turn this on. It works. All right, wait to hear back. It's been a few days now coming back and forth between Jeff and someone else I've been speaking with, Cameron. He has an AZ-1 that he's done Keisport stuff on too. He has his Keisport unit in his car. He told me he had a little issue with the Spartan controller where it had one of the wires, well, 2 of the wires were swept back and forth. I tried to remove my pins and it ended up coming out. I have to recrimp a couple of these, or 3 of these. And what I'm gonna do is, what I did was I used one of these kind of pokey things. It's difficult to show. I had to hold this and just kind of poke at it for a while. There it is. So there's like a tab in there. You kind of just lift and then you kind of push the pin out and then the wire comes out. It's difficult because they're all like tight and you kind of have to do them all at the same time or you're going to end up like that. I took a picture of this before. You could see how the wire's like this. There's a black, green, white, and a red. And then the what Cameron's suggesting is I switch the red and the white. I spoke with Jeff at Keisport 2 and he says the car might not care which way is the 12 volt for the heater grid and some other stuff, but the Spartan does care. So it could be that. I'm going to flip that and try it out. Here it is. Put the pins back. Black, green, white, and red. Hopefully this works. Hopefully. It's a little crooked. I might have to fix that. I'm ready to hook all this back up and figure this out. This will go back into the Keisport. This guy, ow! All right. This guy will go back in the plug down there somewhere. There it is. And this guy will go into the Spartan connector, the wideband here. Okay. All right, it looks like the air fuel ratio is doing something. It was stuck on 10 before. All right, I just realized I goofed and I didn't record any of this. So I'm just gonna go over this real quick because now it's fresh in my mind. Turn the thing to on. You don't have to start the car, just in the on position. You're gonna make note of the air fuel ratio here, 13.30, and then it's gonna change 16.70. You're gonna get the Excel sheet that 14.7 has, and then you enter the information here. So I put 13.3 and I put 16.7. It gives you the ideal numbers, and right here, no, down here. It does the math for you to calculate the offset that it has. And it tells me to put the volts for 0 is 10.094 and the volts for 5 is 19.894. Your car may be different, so don't copy my numbers. Make sure your numbers are what you need them to be because the things may be different. So then you go to Tuner Studio, you go to Tools, you go to you drop down, go to Custom Linear Wideband like that. Over here you put 0 and 5 just like earlier, and then you input the numbers that you forgot in the green part of your Excel here. There you go. Then you click Write to Controller, write complete, and click Close. that's how you calibrate your air fuel sensor, your wideband sensor here. I'm going to start the car and you're going to see that thing move. That was a little wacky, but you can see right here the air fuel ratio, so it's kind of rich. It's on the richer end, 12.2. The base tune is going to be rich just like this because everybody's car is different, and this is kind of to prevent people from blowing up their stuff and then complaining, because now you know you don't want to lean it out too much and then somebody's car is way too lean when they hook this thing up for the first time and it goes boom. So it's rich for a reason, and that's where it is. So it's 12 parts of air per 1 part of fuel, and you would kind of want it somewhere between the 13 and the 15 here. I think 14.7 is the ideal, which is right here, hence the name 14.7. So I think I'm all set here. This is at least the bare minimum. I'm gonna turn the car off. This is at least the bare minimum that you will need to get your Keisport unit installed into your AutoZam AZ-1, Suzuki Cara. Probably the Alto works too, the one that has the dual overhead cam. I don't know which one, because you have to flip the wire that's on the Spartan controller for this to work. I spoke with Jeff. He did say that wire matters, like the 12 volt, whichever one it is. So chasing all that stuff doesn't matter. It was just a wild goose chase. We didn't need to do that, but I'll leave it in there just because it's kind of cool to know that information. It's not that useful, at least not to me. Maybe it is helpful to somebody else that's troubleshooting an O2 sensor. I guess that's it. Thank you for watching. I will have to learn how to do this tuning stuff, and I'll make that a whole separate video. For now, I'm gonna have to just leave this as is. I don't have time to do it, and it's cold out, although today's a really nice day. So I'll see you guys next time. Subscribe for more content, as usual. You know, leave me a comment. You can ask questions about the whole situation here, and I don't know, maybe I can help you out. All right, I'm out here for a little test drive, kind of. It definitely needs some tuning or something, because my blow-off valve works now. You can hear that work. But see how it doesn't want to live a little bit outside of the revving, like right when it's dropping down, it kind of wants to stall out, it sounds like. All right, out for a test drive here. You can see everything seems to be working, so it doesn't. All right, out for a test drive here. You can see all the stuff is running. It definitely needs a little bit of a tuning or something, because once in a while it kind of just behaves a little weird, where it kind of really struggles to kind of stay running. It feels like it wants to stall out. I fixed the blow-off valve by rerouting that stuff like this. You can hear that. But then it wants to stall out when it comes back down. I have to check that. I'm not sure what's going on. All right, I'll just go for a quick drive around the block or something. See if, I mean, it seems fine. It really leans out on deceleration. Acceleration's fine, idling's fine. Oh. Yeah, acceleration's fine, idling's fine. It kind of makes sense that it drops down to 19, or it goes up to 19 air fuel ratio, because on deceleration it cuts fuel, so it's only air. It's probably fine. The bare minimum, this is what you'll need to do to get your Keisport working in your AutoZam AZ-1 Suzuki Cara. I have never done any of this before, so all of this stuff is foreign to me. I mean, I kind of understand some of the concepts, but like I said, I've never done it before. It's not the same thing. Experience is not the same thing as theory. Something like that. My idle's a little bit wavy. I'm gonna see if I can adjust this and see if it stabilizes. It's a flathead that's up here. Maybe I should get a longer one, because now the strut tower bar is in the way. But just turn it a little bit counterclockwise to increase your idle. It's hard to see it because it's shaking so much. Go little more. Let me go look at the tachometer. No, that hardly did anything. Definitely too far out, and it still idles like that. One sec. It's a little too high now. Yeah. I'm gonna drop it back down a bunch. It sounds better though. It stumbles a bit. I have to kind of do that. Didn't change anything yet. A little bit lower. You can see the stumbling's back. It's such a nice day out. I still wanted to play with this, so I messed with the idle, and let's see. Does it still stumble when it comes to a stop? No, it doesn't. But my idle is now 1100. I should be around like 950, 1000 or something like that. So it's a little bit higher. But at least it doesn't stumble and try to stall out when I stop. Let's try it again. Yep. It doesn't try to stall out anymore, so that's good. It's good. Just have to adjust your idle. Let's see, what about if I just rev it in place? Yeah, alright, that's good, that's good. Now that I'm back in my garage, the idle seems to have dropped down a little bit. It's not very consistent. See, the car is all warmed up and stuff. I'm gonna try turning it off and turning it back on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It doesn't seem to, it doesn't start like, what do you call it? It doesn't just kind of wake up. It has like a little stall time. But it seems okay otherwise. Fans bringing the temps down. Now this seems like what needs to be the bare minimum to getting your Keisport installed onto your AutoZam AZ-1 Suzuki Cara. It's not, I mean, it's not as plug and play as like the N1 or N2 ECU that I had before. Like that, literally you just shove it in there and you just drive away, you're good. There's some fiddling that you got to do with this, and it's plug and play with a little work. So if you want to tune your car and get all kinds of cool stuff like power mods and stuff done to your car where you want to go beyond what the N1 and N2 can offer you, get one of these. Otherwise, if you just want to plug something in and drive away like in 5 minutes, get the N1s and N2s. My car drove fine with the N1, but after swapping the Keisport, I had to adjust my idle. It seems to be in a good spot now. It still fluctuates a little bit. I also noticed if I was driving wide open throttle, I'm at like 8,000 RPM on first gear, I'll shift it to second, and I floor it again. there's like a hesitation, I want to say. Like, it wasn't there before. It used to be like rrr, rrr, like right there, but it's like maybe a half second. It's perceivable. I don't know how to time it, but it's definitely perceivable. I press the throttle down all the way. It doesn't do much, and then it goes. So I didn't have that before. That's probably what I'll have to like go through with the whole tuning process and stuff to kind of like settle it to behave perfectly with my car. Every car is going to be a little bit different because every car is different. I am not sure what I'm going to do with this yet, and it's I don't know. You'll find out next time in the next videos when I actually decide. So thank you for watching. Please subscribe. You'll be hearing about this at some point soon. You can subscribe for the other K-car content that I'll have, and like this video, please. It'll help me with the algorithm that I'm learning about. And leave a comment below if you have any tips on what to do with this situation I have here, because I think it's okay now. Yeah, like right there, I just stepped on the throttle. It had a little stumble where it didn't want to go, and now it's going again. So yeah, just little tuning things. I'll probably check if Keisport has an updated tune for this now. It has been 2 years since I got this, so they may have improved what's like preloaded on my chip.